Alright, how's it going everybody? Thomas here again with Read, Review, Recommend. And today we have another review. We are going to be going over Spiderwick Chronicles Book 5, The Wrath of Mulgarath. This was the final and the original series. This one, the fourth one and the fifth one are the best. They really ramp up the pace of everything. But I do think that this one overall was probably the best out of all of them so far. You start out literally right where you left off book 4. You know that it's not going great. You know that you've seen that the big bad is coming out. He has all the goblins. He has all the dwarfs. And then he has a prisoner. But you also get to see how ruthless the big bad is, because he just eliminates all the dwarves. I don't even need you. I don't need your forces. I don't need your help. I appreciate that this happened, but this happened because of me. You can go elsewhere. So you get to see all that in the end of the fourth book. And in the beginning of this one, you start out right back there. The kids get back to the house. They realize that mom is gone. Have no idea where they are. And then it clicks. That's who the prisoner was. They find Thimbletack sitting upstairs. He's apologizing. He's sorry. The bad guy now has the book. Everything's kind of going out of control. And this is the story of how they get their mom back and wrap everything up and save the day. This was a very good, very, very good ending. Very good wrap up to the story. I think the plot out of this one was the best out of all of them so far. Wherever my mouse went. Alright, 10 out of 10 for the plot. Like I said, the opening, you get straight in to them going back to the house. Before they even get to the house, they can sense that something's wrong. The griffin's up on top of the house fighting with a goblin or something or another. They can't really tell. They can see that the windows have been broken out. The house has obviously been ransacked. They get inside. They can't find their mom anywhere. Thimbletack's apologizing. He doesn't know where the book is. And then who does the griffin have? The hobgoblin from book 2. Apologizing because he didn't know it was them when he helped Mulgarath kidnap their mom. But like he said, what was he supposed to do? What option did he have? This is the big bad, and I'm just a hobgoblin, man. So the opening was very well done. It was the best opening so far. It made you immediately feel a sense and an impact of what the big bad did being introduced into the story. Everything was kind of happening, in a way to where they could still feel like they had safe grounds. Now, within the last book, they got attacked at the school. In this one, their house got attacked. Mom got kidnapped, so now even adults are getting attacked. This so far was the best opening. I'm also going to have to give the opening a 10 out of 10. It was the best opening out of the series so far. It was very, very well done. Pacing. The pacing, just like every other book in this series so far, has been, I would say, flawless. They really go from story beat to story beat, from set up, resolve, set up, resolve, set up, resolve, and they just do it so well. It doesn't matter what their target audience is. The pacing is superb. It is very well done, very fine-toothed, combed out. They know exactly what their formula is. And by the time you get through the series, you can definitely see that they had a formula. It worked very well for them. Bravo. Honestly, golf clap with the pacing and the formula that they had to have had for this, because it was incredible. The characters, definitely ramped up this time, but not as much as they did in the fourth book. I still think the fourth book was the best representation of showing the characters. The third one was great because it had all three twins, but you get so much of who Mallory really is in the fourth book, and so much of the twins' dynamic in the fourth book, that I think the fourth book was the best representation of character growth. So I'm going to give the character growth on this one a 9 out of 10 because it was very good. You get Thimbletack going along the way with you. You have all three of the siblings. You have the Hobgoblin going along with them. The Griffin goes along with them. You get to meet Arthur in this one. And they do him very, very interesting. He is not under the same reality that they are as far as how long he's been gone. One of the things he asks about right away is how's Lucy doing. He has no idea that she's an old lady now. So that was pretty interesting. You get to see the wrap up and how the family handles everything in the epilogue is very well done. I'm going to give the characters a 9 out of 10 out of this one because, like I said, I think the fourth book did the best job, but this one was still very well done. Very close second as far as the books are concerned. The writing on this one, I think the writing on this one took a giant step up from the other books. I think how not only was the pacing good, but the development of the story in the pacing was much better in this one than I think it has been in the rest of the books. I think this is the best written book that they had so far. The grammar is still what the grammar was. Like I said, in every book, the grammar is just perfect. It's just right where it needs to be. They hit their target range perfectly. It is a very, very good book for young readers as far as how it is written. This one took not a giant jump forward, but a jump forward with how I think it was written. So I did increase the writing on this one. I really do for the target range. I think this one reached 10 out of 10 for who they are targeting. Like I said, I understand, and I have said this in every review so far of this series. I understand that it isn't a Lord of the Rings just masterpiece of writing, but for what they were doing, who they were aiming for, this was incredibly written, and I can't say anything really wrong about it. Moving forward to the power system, as you guys know, the power system has kind of grown just a little bit, very slightly, in almost every book. This one, the big bad definitely has more magic than anybody we have seen so far, and that was really cool. Seeing how magic has affected Arthur was also really cool. So it did take a little step forward as far as the magic system is concerned, but it still was just kind of what it was. We get little bits and pieces for each book, but we don't ever really get shown what it can be. But you definitely get a sense that it is much more than what you're shown. I'm going to give the power system for this one an 8 out of 10. That's kind of just where it's mediated at through this series, at least for me. But reaching on to the ending, I thought the ending, straight into the epilogue, was fantastic. They make it very suspenseful. They make it very impactful. but yet they remember that it is a book for kids and how they defeat the big bad, which he is defeated. He's dead. He is not alive, but it's funny. It's really funny how they do it. It's really funny how they wrap it up. I really enjoyed it. I found myself laughing even as an adult, so I'm sure little kids are going to be laughing. This was definitely the best ending out of all of them so far. Like I said, you get the feeling of nervousness of, are they actually going to be able to pull this off? Is everybody going to be safe? How the bad guy tricks them this time is emotional and very well done. And then how they actually take the bad guy out and how it shows Jared's bravery and Simon's bravery and how Mallory pulls it together, and just even Mom's character is just so good. The ending on this one was the best ending out of all of them. Hands down the best ending out of all of them. Number 4 being a close second, but this one definitely takes the cake. It was the best ending out of all of the Spiderwick Chronicle books, in my opinion. And that brings me to an all for all. I gave Spiderwick Chronicles Book 5, The Wrath of Mulgarath, a 9 out of 10. Because I thought it was spectacular. I thought it was a great way to wrap it up. It was a happy ending. It brought everybody together. There's a real tear-jerking scene in the epilogue that is, it's so well done. So well done. And I will be doing a review of the series as a whole, and I will be having this up soon, so be looking out for that. But I will say, what a wonderful ending. What a wonderful way to wrap up the story, put a bow on there. It's just, this had so many things in this book that were better than the rest of the books. You could really see how they learned from each book as this series went on. And I just want to say, bravo to them. Thank you for this series. I really enjoyed it. My kids are enjoying it as I'm reading it with them. Yes. If you are a teacher, again, put this in your classrooms. If you are looking to get your young readers into fantasy, give them this series. All of them are fantastic, and it gets better as it goes. You will love the Grace family. You will love how they wrap up their story. You're going to love the dynamic that they have and the characters that they introduce throughout. It is a wonderful world that they have built. So please go give it a try. And again, I'm Thomas with Read Review Recommend. Thank you for joining us today, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.